So today we're going to tackle a really common practical problem, but we're going to do it using the elegant power of the Elixir programming language. We're building a simple, but you'll see, surprisingly clever kitchen calculator. Let's dive right in and set the scene. Okay, picture this. You're all set to bake some amazing cookies. You've got your flour, your sugar, everything's ready. But the recipe calls for things like US cups and tablespoons. You look at your measuring jug, and what does it have? Milliliters. You know that feeling, right? It's super frustrating, and it's the exact kind of problem that's perfect to solve with a little bit of code. So, the challenge is pretty clear. How can we build one single flexible function that can convert from any of these kitchen units to any other one? Well, the answer, it's all about tapping into some of Elixir's most powerful and, honestly, most beautiful features. Now, to build this converter the right way, the clean way, we really only need to get our heads around two essential tools in the Elixir toolbox. We're talking tuples and pattern matching. Trust me, this is the secret sauce for writing really clear declarative code. First up, the tuple. The easiest way to think of it is just as a simple, fixed-sized little box for grouping related bits of information together. It's absolutely perfect for what we're doing, holding a measurements unit and its value in one place. Something like /cup 2.0. And that /cup thing, that's just a special, unique label we call an atom in Elixir. Super handy. And here's a great example of how Elixir itself uses tuples all the time. If you ask it for the ratio of a number, like 0.25, it doesn't just give you one number back. It gives you a tuple, 1, 4, containing both the numerator and the denominator. It's just a standard, clean way to return multiple, related values from a function. Okay, so tuples are cool, but they really just set the stage for Elixir's absolute superpower, pattern matching. Now, this is way more than just assigning a value to a variable like in other languages. This is about looking at the actual shape of your data and pulling out just the pieces you care about. Check out the difference right here. On the left, that's just plain old assignment. X becomes 5. But on the right, that's pattern matching. When we match, curly bracket, underscore, comma, denominator, against the tuple 1, 4, we're doing a couple of things at once. The underscore is basically the I don't care variable. It just ignores the first element. And the variable denominator gets automatically assigned the value of the second element, which is 4. See? We're taking the data apart as we match it. All right, we've got our tools, tuples, and pattern matching are under our belts, and that's literally all we need. Let's start cooking up this calculator for real. First things first, we need our data. This table is our single source of truth. The big idea here is that we're going to use milliliters as our kind of like universal translator. Everything can be converted into milliliters, and then from milliliters back out to whatever we want. A cup is 240, a tablespoon is 15, and so on. Okay, task number 1, super simple. We just need a little function that can take one of our data tuples, like /cup 2.0, and just give us back the number, the 2.0 part. And would you look at that? The solution is one single beautiful line of code. We use pattern matching right there in the function definition. We're telling Elixir, okay, I'm expecting a 2-part tuple. I don't care what the first part is, that's the underscore, but grab the second part and call it volume. And then we just return volume. It's so clean. No if statements, no nonsense. All right, next up, we need a function that can take any of our starting units, cups, teaspoons, whatever, and turn it into our standard unit, milliliters. Now, this is where pattern matching really starts to show off. Okay, so here's the magic. Instead of writing one giant function with a bunch of conditions, we write multiple small functions, all with the same name. Elixir uses pattern matching to figure out which one to run. This first one, it only matches if the first part of the tuple is the atom cup. If it is, it multiplies the volume by 240. So, if Elixir gets something that's not a cup, it just says, nope, doesn't match, and it moves right on to try the next one. If it sees a fluid ounce, great, this clause matches, and it multiplies the volume by 30. And you see the pattern here, right? We can just keep tacking on these tiny, focused expert functions for every single unit we need, like this one for the teaspoon. Each one does one simple job and does it perfectly. And that is the huge win here. Think about it, we've completely avoided some messy, nested if-else chain or a big, complicated case statement. Instead, our code just describes the data. It says, when the data looks like this, do that. It's incredibly readable. Okay, so it makes sense, right? If we can go to milliliters, we've got to have a way to go back from milliliters to whatever unit we actually want in the end. And that's going to be our from milliliter function. And here's the best part. We don't have to learn anything new. It's the exact same idea. We just write a bunch of function clauses that pattern match on the target unit, only this time, instead of multiplying, we're going to be dividing by that conversion factor. Simple as that. Okay, the moment of truth. We've got all our little building blocks. Now we can put them together to build our final, all-powerful, universal convert function that can go from any unit to any other unit. And the logic to tie it all together? It's so simple. It's just a two-step dance. Step 1, take whatever you're given and convert it to milliliters using the function we already built. Step 2, take that result and convert it from milliliters to the final unit you want. That's it. We're just connecting the dots. All right, let's take it for a spin. Say we want to know how many tablespoons are in 9 teaspoons. Behind the scenes, our code is going to first turn those 9 teaspoons into 45 milliliters. Then it'll take those 45 milliliters and figure out how many tablespoons that is. And boom, there's our answer, 3.0. It just works. By putting together these small, focused functions, we've built this incredibly powerful and flexible tool that's also just really easy to understand and to add to later on. So let's zoom out for a second. What's the big deal here? I mean, this is about way more than just a kitchen gadget, right? This points to a fundamentally different, a more declarative way of thinking about how your programs make decisions. So I want to leave you with this thought. Instead of writing complicated instructions telling your program step by step how to figure something out, what if you could just describe what the data should look like for each situation? That's the world Elixir's pattern matching opens up, and it leads to code that is so often more readable, more maintainable, and yeah, just a lot more elegant.